Hello everyone, my name is Sophie, and welcome to episode 4 of the Bookhater Club podcast. We've made it to episode 4. Finally, I'm sitting here talking to you guys again. I feel like I've been gone forever, but it's not been that long. And also I've been uploading shorts, okay? You can watch those. But anyway, welcome to episode number 4. Today, our topic is Booktok, and that's basically it. I had a little voting on my channel in the community tab where I asked you guys what I should talk about next, what you wanna hear is what I asked, and Booktok won. I'm gonna check right now what it says now, because I did do that voting like a while ago, but maybe something else is winning now and you're gonna call me a liar. No, it's 37% of people said talk about Booktok, and I had a few other options. So if you wanna help me decide on my topics, subscribe, and then you can also see that. I mean, I don't think you have to be subscribed to see the community tab, but then you're gonna be able to see when I post a new question, and then you can vote. Okay, so the last video I uploaded was 9 days ago. It was episode number 3, and my last rant review is 2 weeks old. I feel like since starting this podcast, I'm gonna be honest, I've been way calmer when it comes to reading, because before that I always felt so pressured to read books so I could make rant reviews, because that was basically the only content I was doing, rant reviews. And since having this podcast, I started like a month ago, I've been able to just sit here and talk about different topics, you know, and that's really gives me peace of mind, because I am busy with uni and stuff, and so this is like easier form of content, but I still have fun like sitting here and ranting about other things other than books, you know. But for everyone curious, or actually I should do like an intro. Hello everyone, if you don't know who I am, my name is Sophie, and I do rant reviews on my channel for popular books. And as I just said, the last one was 2 weeks ago. It was about The Final Night by Pritchett Camara, and I am still reading Kingdom of the Wicked, but I do hope that my next video can be a book review and not the next podcast episode, because the way I actually want to do it is like one review and one podcast episode a week, so I have 2 videos a week. But I'm busy, bitch. I say it every time, I'm busy, bitch. Like, you know, I don't have that much time to read, especially not if the book, I don't fucking care about it. I'm reading Kingdom of the Wicked right now, and it's so fucking boring. It's so fucking boring, and I hate the main character. I don't even know her name. What's her name? Emilia. I know her name. Emilia needs to shut the fuck up. So that review is coming soon. I'm aiming for next week, but I do have 2 essays that I need to finish. You don't care, but I'm trying, okay? For everyone who's curious, who knows who I am and what I do, if you're like, Sophie, where the fuck are the reviews, bitch? I'm unsubscribing. Please don't do that. I just hit 2,000. Thank you everyone who subscribed. What's new? What's new before we get into the topic? I have a sign in the back. Oh my god! I don't know how well you can see that because it's really bright, and my camera is a little bit old, but it doesn't really matter. If you can't tell what it says Bookhater Club, and I've been waiting for this to come in to film this episode, because I was like, I need to kind of spice the background up a little bit, so I took some books, I stacked them up, and now the sign is on top of it. And so for every video that I make, obviously not for these episodes because it's going to say Bookhater Club, but if I make a rant review, I can put a little funny note in the back. It's going to be so fun. No? I think it's going to be so fun. I love it. I thought, I had that idea myself. I was like, oh my god, what if I get a light box? And then I did it, and I was like, okay, I love it. I love the way it looks. I think it's so slay. We have a little chonk next to it. It's a stress ball that I need when I'm reading, because I'm so stressed, and then a bunch of books underneath, and I've actually not read any of them. So that's my TBR, in case you're wondering. Also, the other day, and this is something that we will be discussing in this video, is book hoarding. But I'm no better. I'm no better than anyone else. I got this book. I don't know how well you can see. It's Empire of the Vampire by J. Christoph. And I went up to the register. It says it's 14 euros, and I went up to the register. I got it, and it was only 10, and I was like, okay, that's a steal, because I don't really like spending over 10 euros on a book, which is gonna be like, support the author, they deserve the money, but like, yeah, fuck you. No, no, I don't mean it, but like, it's like, why is it so expensive, bitch? I want to, you know what I mean? I just want to read. Like, I don't have the money to buy that many books, but the reason I got this is because this, it was like a big paperback version that was out the whole time. There's like different versions of it. And I saw this one and I was like, I want to get it because I do actually, guys, no one's gonna notice, except if you've been here since the beginning of my channel, which I don't think anyone is. I used to have a video, and let me look right now. I used to have a video and I privated it because it's so embarrassing. It was like my second ever video that I did because my first two videos are both about Crescent City 1. That's the video that started my channel. And I think my next podcast episode, I'm going to talk about my history as a reader, how I became a reader, how I started this channel, and something else, because that's like not enough. I don't even know how long this episode is going to be. I feel like it's not going to be that long, because I have a lot to say, but sometimes I don't have that much to say. I don't want to overdo it, and people will be like, oh my god, I don't want to fucking listen to you anymore, so let me look this up. But I had the two videos on Crescent City, were my first ever two videos, and then I was like, I don't know if I want to do this like as a, I don't know, like as a hobby. And then my boyfriend was like, you really need to be doing this, like you need to read and upload videos. And I was like, I don't know if I want to do that. And then I did anyway. And I privated the video. Yes, it's called The Books I've Read During Quarantine Made Me Even More Depressed. Iron Gold, Truth Rich, and Nevernight. And I privated the video and it only has like 200 views, so nobody knows about it, which is good because it's super cringe. But I talked about Nevernight. That's the point I'm trying to make. I talked about Nevernight, which is also by Jay Kristoff, and I think I gave it like 2 stars. Actually, I don't know how many stars I gave it, but I was like, I don't really know if I like this. So I'm excited to see what this holds. Empire of the Vampire, but it's a big book. I don't really know how many pages it has. Guys, the font! Why is it so small? No, look at how small the font is. Bitch. And then it's still 600 pages. 700 pages. Bitch, I'm not reading that. What the fuck? When am I supposed to ever finish this book if I can't even finish, what am I reading? Kingdom of the Wicked. I'm sweating, by the way. Like, I'm gonna change in a second. It's not even that cold. I don't know why I'm wearing such a thick jacket, so... Other than that, you see my cool little letterbox. I'm going to link it in the description if you also want to get one. I think they slay, honestly. Before we go into the topic of book talk, if you don't know, my last podcast episode was about Aster, and she's the author of Lightlark, and I saw something really funny on Twitter that I want to share with you guys. Basically, she won't shut the fuck up. I think she's in Paris at the moment, which means she's really close to me because I'm from Germany. Paris is not that far away. I don't know. You know what? I don't want to be a hypocrite, but no, actually, I don't think. I was going to say if I ever met her, somehow she came to Germany and I ever met her, I don't think I would take a picture with her. I don't think I would go meet her. I was thinking about it. I don't think I would because I don't care. Maybe it would be funny, but maybe she does know who I am, but I don't know. I don't think she does, but I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to meet her. Has anyone ever met her? I feel like she's a sweet person, but she just gets on my nerves. So she has posted a TikTok with her 2 best friends, which is Chloe Gong, the author of These Violent Delights, and this one guy called Dustin, and I can't read his last name because the font is really small, and he wrote You've Reached Sam. And I've never read that book, so I don't fucking know who he is. And the video says, it's a TikTok that she posted, it says, when you wrote 3 of the current top books at Barnes & Noble and walked through the YA section like you run the place. And then someone commented on that, and like on Twitter, and said, I don't know if you say commented on Twitter, I don't really know Twitter that well, and said, oh, I was there when this happened, and it was so funny because all the people that were there were actually like so excited to see them and giggling, and they were filming TikToks, blah, blah, blah. I was like, okay, let them have their moment. I don't think you were there. I think you're lying. People lie on the internet a lot. But the funny thing about this TikTok and why I'm mentioning it is not because Aster is cringe, but because she is literally saying, wrote 3 of the current top books at Barnes & Noble, so that means that they're all 3 bestsellers. And then she puts the picture of the covers over the people, and the only book that says bestseller on top is her book. Like, she literally, she could have just taken a screenshot of her best friend's book saying bestseller or not, or leave it out of her picture, of her screenshot of her book, but no. She has the bestseller. Obviously, the other 2 are also bestsellers, okay? Obviously. But she was like, I'm not including them. Fuck them. This is my moment to shine. So Alex Aster, why did you do that? Do you not like them that much? No, they hang out like all the time. I feel like they're being held hostage. Allegedly. I didn't mean that. Sometimes I'm scared of getting sued, but then again, like, what would I get sued over? I'm just a small little girl. I don't know. I don't think so. The only thing I do know is that Booktok sucks, okay? Which is why we're gathered here today to talk about Booktok. Now, Sophie, me, she's not a part of Booktok. I am not. I post Booktoks. Do you say that? Booktok TikToks? And I post them not that regularly, but I do try because it's a good way to grow your audience and to reach more people. I'm thinking about doing a fake TikTok where I pitch like a random, like I have an AI generated book idea for me, a generic book idea, and then I put it over Pinterest pictures like that, like POV, you are being chased by the enemy, and then you trip and he says, who did this? Myself, bitch, I tripped. Like, I, you know, like those fucking POVs where they're like trying to market their book. I'm thinking about doing that and seeing if it would go viral, because I really want to like prove that Booktok is such a scheme, you know. But what even is Booktok? I did some research for you guys. Booktok is a sub community on TikTok. It's a sub community. So you have TikTok and you have Booktok. Wow, but it's on TikTok. And also, I don't really know if this is a thing outside of Germany, but actually I don't think it is. There, you can actually win money or earn money if you invite people onto TikTok through a Booktok link, and you can, because there's a system on TikTok where you can earn points, and then those points can be transferred into real money, or there's a German bookstore called Thalia, and how would you say that in English? Thalia? Yeah, that's fine. Thalia, and then you can actually get store credit for Thalia, so to buy books, you know, and they're doing like a TikTok crossover where if you invite a friend with your link and then you do a bunch of challenges, and those challenges are like follow the hashtag Booktok, follow Booktok creators. They have like dedicated creators that do a book club and stuff like that. And you can get 10 money. You can get 10 euros, and then your friend can also get 10 euros if they sign up through your link. So that's the whole thing, you know. TikTok is really pushing Booktok. They are aware of how popular it is, at least in Germany. Again, I don't know if this is a thing anywhere else in any other countries. You can let me know down below if TikTok has ever like promoted Booktok in that way, but it's definitely being promoted in Germany. And that being said, all of the negative things I will say today, because I think there's more negative things, still I think that everything that gets people to start reading is a good thing. Somehow is a good thing, you know, even if there is like basically nothing good to say about Booktok. I think it's good that it exists and that it developed the way it did, because it did get people who maybe would have never thought about picking up a book, pick up a book and start fucking reading. Even if it's trash that they read, anything that animates people to read more is a good thing, because reading is a good thing. Okay? Love reading. I know it says bookhater in the back. Don't be fooled. Don't be fooled. Like, I'm all for reading. Everyone should read books. You know what I mean? And so I think there used to be also like a stigma around reading, and people being judged if they said they like being a nerd. You know what I mean? And so with more recent years, and also with Booktok, that stigma is kind of shifting, and I think that's a good thing. That's the good. That's the only good I have to say, like, out of the way. Okay, now let's talk shit. So, TikTok or Booktok increased in popularity, especially during the pandemic. So before the pandemic, it started developing, I think, but I don't really recall there being a Booktok or getting book TikToks until the pandemic. Because during the pandemic, people were fucking bored, okay? And they've been bored. And then people maybe saw Sarah J. Maas on their TikTok. No, she doesn't come on TikTok, but people talk about Sarah J. Maas being like, oh my god, if you also hate your current situation, being locked inside, not being able to go down on other people because you're supposed to, you know, quarantine, pick up a book and be happy. And so more people started reading during those times, which is great. Love that. And now we're at the point where Booktok is so big that it gets promoted by TikTok, first of all, and also that when you go into the stores, even in Germany just follows everything that's going on, you know what I mean? There's signs in bookstores, there's whole tables and also whole walls set up as seen on Booktok, or Colleen Hoover, especially Colleen Hoover. You know that meme? You know what? I'm gonna make that TikTok tonight. This meme that's going on at the moment where it's like me at my wedding and then there's a picture of someone looking really shit. And then the next slide is a picture of them looking really good and it says something different. Like, first one is me at my wedding looking really shit, and the second one, I'm gonna post that. Don't post it! I'm gonna post it! Don't copy my idea. It's gonna be me at the downfall of Colleen Hoover, and I look really good, because fuck that woman, you know? I'm gonna be dressed up, like, ready to eat and leave no crumbs when she gets cancelled. Which we've been trying. But it's not working. People still love her. Fuck that woman, honestly. She's the only author that I don't feel afraid, like, really coming for, because, like, fuck that girl. Whatever, okay? So, I think that you can comment down below, like, your whole opinion on all of this, but also, like, does Booktok get as promoted as much in your country, where you're from? Because obviously I can only speak from my experience in Germany, where there's whole sections, and I think also what's good for me is that I've always read, like, I've read pre-Booktok, I was already a reader, believe it or not. Pre-pandemic, I was already a reader. I read all of the popular books pre-pandemic. Crazy, I know, that's how old I am. I'm 22, for anyone wondering. I'm not that old, but every time I mention it, I want to cry. And the bookstores that I used to go to, they would have a selection of English books, but it would not be as big as it is now. Like, now I go to the bookstore and they have, like, every book that you want to read. And I don't really read anything besides the popular Booktok books. I don't know why I said really. I don't read... Sorry, I'm getting angry. I don't read anything besides the popular Booktok books, because that's what I review, and I've mentioned before that I want to find, like, a balance where I start reading books that I think I'm actually gonna enjoy as, like, a balance, because I'm, like, gonna lose my mind at some point. My 2 brain cells that are left are just gonna go up in flames, but so far I haven't done that. So, what else is there to say? TikTok, or Booktok, is a very accessible platform. I think it's even more accessible than Booktube or Bookstagram. I can talk about my own experience. Oh my god, that's so crazy, because I'm a booktuber. But I don't think that TikTok fame in general, no matter what sub community you're in, is real, unless you are, like, super, 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 super big. Because people follow anyone on TikTok. Like, me having 8,000 Booktok subscribers doesn't mean anything, because half of those people don't watch my video. Like, not even half, like, almost all of those people don't watch my videos. My videos are not gonna get watched by the people that follow me, they're gonna get watched by people that see me on their For You page. Peace and love, like, that's just the way it is. It's much harder to build a community on, like, Booktube and Bookstagram, I think. I don't know that well about Bookstagram, because, you know, I never had, like, a Bookstagram account where I posted pictures of, pretty pictures of books and stuff like that, because I'm not that good at taking pictures. Peace and love. So I think that getting popular on Booktok is super, super easy. It just depends on the algorithm, and people always use the word algorithm, and I don't even know what that means. Like, what gets picked up and what doesn't, I don't know. I do have a TikTok that has 1.4 million views, and what did I get from that? Nothing. You know, that's how I got all my 8,000 subscribers. But if you have to imagine, like, 1.4 million people saw my TikTok, and only 8,000 of them decided to follow me. That's not that much. That's like nothing, basically. Also, regarding this, the whole Booktok fame and being accessible, when you post a TikTok, anyone can post a TikTok and get famous on TikTok, okay? Because for YouTube, you need to put a little bit of effort. You need to edit, you need to be able to, I don't know, be able to talk for a while. I mean, the editing that I do is no, like, magic or anything, which makes me a little sad, because sometimes I watch videos and I'm like, I wish I could edit like this, but I don't have the patience and I don't have the creativity to do it. Peace and love, like, you gotta know where your strengths and your weaknesses are. Mine is just talking shit, so that's what I'm doing. And for Bookstagram, you have to be able to take cute pictures, as I said before, and all of that shit you don't have to do when you do a TikTok. You can just literally do that. I mean, a good example is the tapping filter for, like, I think a big one was Harry Potter, where you would tap and it would be your house, your friend, your parents, blah, blah, blah. And shit like that would blow up. And it's the same with my TikTok that has 1.4 million views. I like how I keep mentioning it has like 1.4, not just 1 million, like it's 1.4 million views. It was also just like a tapping filter. You have to be a little bit funny to make it interesting so people keep watching. And I know that I'm really fucking funny. I'm kidding. You really boost my, like, people really boost my ego when they comment, like, oh, you're so funny. You really do. You really be boosting my ego. Like, I won't stop talking about it for days. Also, something great that happened with TikTok, or not TikTok, but Colleen Hoover stands, is they got the library banned. I don't know if anyone remembers this. I think we all remember this, actually. That was, like, the worst day ever. I remember I was on the train when it happened, and I was just devastated. Not that I ever used the library. I wouldn't, you know, never. Of course, I buy all of my books legally. I swear. But it was, like, I mean, not just for the book community that downloaded books that they thought they wanted to read at some point, like smut books or anything, but they also had books for people at college or high school, whatever, actual literature that they needed to study and they couldn't afford because America is fucked and the books are just expensive, you know, files to download that. And so just because some random Colleen Hoover stan was like, oh, by the way, if you go to the library, you can download Colleen Hoover books for free. Like, I feel like that's an unspoken rule in the community that you don't say shit like that. Like, you don't outright say, hey, here you can get free books. But they don't know about that. They didn't know about that and it got banned because it got picked up by the algorithm. The TikTok algorithm, the big scary algorithm. And now we are all without the library. Rest in peace. Rest in peace. We miss you daily. Continuing on, Booktok has a huge issue with being whitewashed, in the sense that not whitewashed, but white focused, especially when it comes to authors. I was thinking about this and I was like, what author can I name off the top of my head that's like popular? Like from the popular books, really popular books, and I'm not talking like, because there's like Saba Tahir who has written An Ember in the Ashes, which is kind of known, but it's not super hyped up. The only person I can think of is Tahara Mafi, who has written Shatter Me, because Shatter Me is like a staple. I think that's also with the Booktok girls, they always talk about Warner and everything, that's like really up there, but she's the only non-white author that I can think of that's like has the same amount of hype on Booktok as someone like Sarah J. Maas gets, or Cassandra Clare. I mean, still not the same. Sarah J. Maas and Cassandra Clare are still a whole different world, basically. But she's up there with those, and they don't get promoted. People of, like, I can't name one. I can't name a book, because I only read the popular Booktok ones. I can't name a book that I've read by like a person of color. I genuinely can't, and it's not because I don't want to, and I'm specifically look if it's a person of color who's written a book and then I don't read it. That's not what I do, obviously. It's just that I read what's popular on Booktok, and it's nothing that a person of color words is fucking popular. And why is that? Peace and love. Like, they're not promoting new authors that are coming up. I know that what do I know? Wait, I have to look it up. What's the author's name? Tracy Dion. I was thinking of Tracy Wolf, but she's written that Vampire season. I don't know if she's a person of color. But Legendborn is the book I was thinking of, because a lot of people have recommended that to me. And I know that that author is a person of color. And it's the only Booktok book that I can think of that gets like some amount of hype. Obviously, I'm not that deep into the community, but just from some, like, I'm not an outsider either. I'm somewhat in it. From someone who's somewhat in it, I cannot name you like popular authors of color that really get the hype. We have Chloe Gong, who has published These Violent Delights. And me being a little white girl from Germany, what am I to say? You know, I can't say anything besides promote people of color, promote their books. But the publishing industry, I think, is very white focused in general, and also Booktok kind of rehashes the same books that have been popular for a long time or written within a certain time period. So Sarah J. Maas has always been popular, Cassandra Clare has always been popular, and I think that they're a little bit, like, Booktok is a little bit behind. They're like a few years behind BookTube, because BookTube hyped up Sarah J. Maas, Cassandra Clare like a few years ago, and now we've kind of moved on from that sphere and kind of maybe developed a more precise reading taste, and also realized the issue that there are so many white authors that get promoted and they get super big book deals and getting like promoted more and more, while new authors, maybe authors of color or whatever, have less of a chance of getting published by publishing, like traditional publishing houses, because the white authors that already exist are getting promoted so much. But I don't know anything about publishing, if I'm being honest, so this is just my theory. And also there's like a lot of issue with characters being white. Like, just then having a fucking black character that's also gay. How many books that are popular on Booktok have a gay black character, side character, and that's like the only diverse character there is. Lightlark, I'm looking at you. Of course, there's also booktokers that talk specifically about like queer books and books with main characters of color and by authors of color. There's definitely that, but when I think of a booktoker that's popular, as someone who's not that into Booktok, I think of a white girl from Texas that has like curly hair, like me right now, really long curly hair, has a tan, walks around in skirts, has a Stanley Cup, and has a Jeep. That's what I think of. And that's like not me being hateful, because like if that's you, like peace and love just exists. But those girls don't promote those books. Those girls promote Colleen Hoover, and that's it. So the way people promote books is also so not minimalistic, but so simplistic maybe, because we've moved away from, or in Booktok, people have moved away from talking about the plot and are more focused on tropes. And by that I mean like enemies to lovers, academic rivals, fisting. If I see someone suggest a book to me on Booktok or talk about a book on Booktok, they are like not suggesting, or maybe suggesting books by trope, and then they show like a Colleen Hoover book. It's like domestic abuse. Peace and love, I don't want to read that. No, they say like enemies to lovers, childhood friends, and you don't know anything about the book. You don't know anything more about the book besides how the two main characters fall in love, but you don't know anything about the plot. Which is so weird to me, because just because a book is enemies to lovers, and I know that I like enemies to lovers, that's not the only reason I want to pick up a book, because if the whole plot sounds ass, but the main characters are enemies to lovers, like, do I still want to read it? No. Like, because the book sounds ass. But you don't know that because people are just advertising it a certain way, or they're advertising it as spicy. You know, spice talk is a whole thing. And it's ridiculous. Maybe that's like a whole different video, honestly. The fucking spice they talk about, where it's like, he just murdered your brother and now he's fucking you in your brother's blood. Shit like that, you know what I mean? It's like really gruesome. And you're like, oh, you just don't get dog romance. You just don't get it. And I'm like, I don't want to get it. I don't want to get it because that's weird. Like, if you want to read it, that's fine, but I don't want to read that. And why are you thinking that it's fine? A lot of people have complained about false advertising because of this, because Booktok in general is just a free promotion for the books and for the authors, okay? Because there's I don't know if there's very few, but in my head there's very few. I say I don't know a lot, but I generally don't know anything, if you can't tell. Like, I'm just talking out of my ass. No, but there's of course booktokers that get paid by authors or publishing houses or whatever to promote certain books. But me posting about making a shit video, like shit talking The Cruel Prince, is still a form of advertising for it, because then someone's going like, oh my god, just because you said it was bad, I kind of want to read it now. Still promotion. I'm not getting fucking paid for that. Sadly. Please pay me. So they're getting unpaid ads for everything. The authors can promote themselves. What the fuck was my main point anyway? Why am I talking about this now? I was talking about the tropes. What was it about the tropes? I feel like there's gonna be so many cuts in here, because I'm like, where the fuck did I start this point? And then I can't remember. But the whole tropes thing, I think, is so ausgelutscht. Which means it's like so, how do you say it in English? I don't even know how to say it. It's like, I'm so over it. Like, we don't, like the whole tropes, like enemies to lovers, but like, it's a good way to give people an idea. But you should at some point also talk about what the book is actually about. In love. TikTok is literally making authors popular, or getting authors published that otherwise would have never gotten a publishing deal. Never. It makes me think of A Touch of Darkness. It's the first book that comes to mind. It's a Persephone and Hades retelling that I think was self-published by... Was that Tracy Wolf? No, I don't know who wrote that book. I don't know why Tracy Wolf is in my head right now. I don't even know who that woman is. But A Touch of Darkness is a book that was popular. on Booktok. How it got popular, I can't tell you because I didn't really look into it. It's just like the example that came in mind now. And I read it because it was hyped on Booktok. And in, like, it's just one of the worst pieces of fiction I have ever read. Or, actually, even better, The Zodiac Academy. That's even better of an example. This book has been written by two people who realized that zodiac signs were in hype. Booktok was in hype. They took those two ideas, took every single trope that they could find, like bullies to lovers or rivals or whatever, or bully romance, I think it's called, put it into one book, and they can't even, like, punctuate their fucking sentences. And I've said that I have a review on the first book. It was one of the worst books I've ever read. And I saw one of the booktubers posted a video where she read the books, or like the first 2 or 3 maybe books, and said this is so bad. And I feel like some people are afraid, and that's another thing that we'll talk about, are afraid to voice when they don't like something that's popular on Booktok. And they're like, oh, well, if you like this, that's fine. But, like, you can genuinely say that the Zodiac Academy is so fucking bad. It's so fucking bad. Peace and love. Like, the plot is bad, characters are bad, writing is bad, and it was written by 2 people. I keep mentioning this, but it's important. 2 people wrote this book together, and they both managed to write such a piece of shit book. You know what I mean? And I think it was self-published with, like, Kindle or something, because there's this whole deal with Kindle Unlimited, which I don't know what that is. But I've heard that you pay, like, a monthly subscription, and then you can pay, you get the discounts on books, and you also get a bunch of books for free on Kindle Unlimited if you subscribe to that. And as far as I remember, Zodiac Academy was a part of that. And so a lot of people read it because of that, and that series is like 9 books long now. And I could have done that. And they're making so much fucking money off of that. I bet my ass they're making so much fucking money. I could have done it. And I could have done it better. And I wish it would have been me. I'm a little bit jealous, I have to say. Because it's just so bad. And it gets so much hype. And none of it is deserved. None. 0. Oh. I wanted to do a 0, but I did a heart instead. Because I love you guys. So anyone who says The Zodiac Academy is my favorite book ever, unironically, without being able to, like, be critical about it, I don't take you seriously. Honestly, like, the authors are getting published. That's the whole point I'm trying to make. Who would have never gotten published the traditional way if it wasn't for TikTok, for posting POVs or generic, like, tropes behind a backdrop of, like, Pinterest pictures of castles and women with swords, and then or I don't know, like, self-publishing and saying, bully, like, here's some zodiac signs who go to a high school and they're super magical, blah, blah, blah. You would have never gotten a book deal. You would have never gotten a book deal if it weren't, first of all, for TikTok, and second of all, for TikTok. Period. I feel like since Booktok has been blowing up, a lot of authors have been coming into reviewer spaces more often. In my first ever podcast episode, I talked about this author whose name I already forgot, I think it was Lucy, that came for a reviewer because they didn't like her debut novel, and she got really defensive over it and then took it to Twitter and everything. And this isn't, like, the only time this has happened. So many debut that's a difficult word, debut oh my god, debut authors come into reviewer spaces like Booktok or Goodreads or Instagram, anywhere, and get so offended when you critique their work. And it's like, you are not the be all. I don't know how the saying goes. Be all. What's the first thing? Say all be all? How the fuck do you say it? I don't know, but you're not it. You're not it. And they get so defensive. And it's like, I understand that you wrote this and you're so proud of it, and of course if you write a book you're gonna think this is the best thing ever because it's your book, like, you made it. But that's why you shouldn't be in this space. You shouldn't be in this reviewer space where people review your book, because obviously not everyone's gonna like it. And I've said this before, you could be the best author in the world and someone would still not like it. Peace and love. That's just how life goes. And so this is not a space for you to be in. Fuck off. Don't publish if you can't handle it. That's why I'm not published. Not because I have never written a book in my life, but because I couldn't handle the hate. Because I'm a hater. That's not my cup of tea. I think that on Booktok, there's an issue, okay, with people who are not able to review books critically. They they want to review it critically, I feel like, because they will show you the tabs they use and the highlighters they use, and they will go into the book, highlight things, write notes on the page, which gives you the idea that they maybe want to, like, analyze what is being written a little bit more. Like, I don't know what they're annotating, if they're just underlining cute lines or if they're actually, like, trying to be a little bit more critical. But to me, the impression is, like, you want to be a little bit more not critical, but, like, you want to analyze the work. Not even critically, you just want to analyze it, but analyzing is always critically, I think. And then when you say something negative about the book, they come for you, because they cannot critically analyze the book negatively. If they like something, they like it, period. There's nothing flawed about it. They cannot point out a single flaw, and no one will be like, okay, maybe that was a little bit silly. They won't admit to that. They think that what has been written is the best thing ever, and they will say things like, I liked it because I liked it, period. And I don't get why you are saying negative things about it, because if you weren't into it, then, like, just leave it be. But just because, I mean, my rant reviews are always a little bit angry, but just because someone wrote a review that was, like, actually pointing out flaws of the work doesn't mean that you are wrong in your opinion. Because also I think there's, like, the saying I like this and this is the best piece of fiction ever is kind of a synonym at this point. But it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be the same thing. You can like something even if it is shit. But you should be able to realize that it is not that great. Like, you like it because of certain aspects, sure. Like, something just grabbed you, or it was the first ever book you read, or it got you into reading, you know, stuff like that. But you should be able to say, like, take a step back and say, okay, maybe that wasn't that great. For example, my favorite book is Six of Crows. I haven't read Six of Crows in years. I read that when I was like, when it came out. Maybe the last time I read it was when I was 18, and that was 4 years ago. So if I read it now, I will probably also see it differently, but I will always be fond of it. I will always say that I love Six of Crows. Like, no matter if I reread it now and be like, okay, this scene was a little silly, this plot point was a little bit stupid, like, that's fine. I would be able to say that, but I would still be able to say, okay, but I like it, and give valid points. But that's not the case on TikTok. I also think that Booktok is very much commentary and review based, which is just kind of plays into the point of saying everything is always great. And the people that I genuinely can take seriously are the people who say that they really enjoyed, first of all, Zodiac Academy, sure, but also Ugly Love by Colleen Hoover, because they will not see a flaw in it. There's a line that says, in case you haven't heard of it, we both laugh at our son's big balls. And they, like, I feel like people who like Ugly Love cannot, like, fathom or realize that that line is stupid and silly and shit and it's bad. Like, even if you like the book, can't you take a step back and be like, okay, that was weird. Like, why the fuck did she write that? You should be able to do that. Okay? In my opinion. Like, and still, if you like the book, then okay, so be it. But you can at least admit to some flaws of it, because no piece of fiction is always perfect. But then being so angry at people who do criticize it and being like, ugh, I love this book, I can't believe how you don't like it. It's almost like people have put books at the same level as like an actual person, like a singer, like Taylor Swift. Peace and love. Love to all my Swifties. I don't care about Taylor Swift. Even though yesterday I was at a Zara and I was in there for an hour, okay, because it was really busy. All they played for an hour was Taylor Swift. All they played, and I wasn't mad about it, but it was just like kind of weird because every song was Taylor Swift, and it wasn't like just her recent album. It was like old shit. I know my things because she dated Harry Styles, and I was a Directioner anyway. Sorry, I know the lore. Okay, so I think that to me it feels like people put books like up to singers or actual people like Taylor Swift, and it's like it's not that deep. It's just a book. Like, me saying that I don't like Jude from The Cruel Prince is not gonna hurt Jude's feelings, because she's not real. If I'm gonna say Taylor Swift is a fucking bitch, if she ever read that would hurt her feelings. I don't think that, by the way. Don't come for me. I don't think she's a bitch. I love her. Stan her. Love Taylor Swift. No, I genuinely, like, whatever. Like, Taylor Swift slays. But I feel like that's the mentality that a lot of people on Booktok have. Like, they stand them so hard and they stand authors so hard that everything they do is perfect and we love everything they do. And that's just not the case. That's just not what's going on most of the time. I think a book is there to be discussed. Yeah? Can we agree on that? Like, books should be able to be analyzed in different perspectives. I mean, not the Zodiac Academy, like, that book is stupid, but books by proper authors, peace of love. Like, I don't want people to get offended when I say that the people who publish Zodiac Academy are not proper authors, but I just can't take them seriously. I'm sorry. It's like, I will never be able to, because that's just, it should be a crime to not know what a comma is when you publish a book, but they don't know. They don't know. They've never heard of a comma. And I don't know if it gets better. Maybe I should pick it up. Maybe I should read the whole entire series. Would you like that? Maybe I would actually end it all after that. A lot of the books also that get published now, which I don't know if that would have happened without Booktok. They just feel like copies of each other, or the same thing rehashed over and over again with different character names. So many books base themselves on ACOTAR, where you literally have like the number one love interest who's a nice guy, and then he's not that nice because he like did something bad, and then the second love interest who you thought was the villain, but then he's actually really hot and mysterious and loves the main character. And it's like, just when I think about it, how many books I've read that have that formula and they get published, they all bleed together in my head. They don't have distinct voices. Nothing that I've read for this channel, well, that's not true, but most of the books that I have read for this channel have left no lasting impression on me or impact on me, because they all feel the same. They all feel the same. All the Booktok books feel the same at this point. And that's kind of sad. Makes me kind of sad. Like, I want something new and something cool and quirky. And that being said, let me take off my fucking sock. A lot of people on Booktok make people feel like they don't belong when they don't like a book, which is perfect for me because I don't like anything. So what I want to do with my channel, or what I've always intended to do with my channel, sorry, I have to get comfortable, wait a second, is be a spot, or build a community for people that feel attacked, or not attacked, but like have been attacked by people because they didn't like a book, or also felt like outsiders because they didn't like something. Because if you are in Booktok, especially if you're a little bit younger, not that many young people watch my channel as far as I'm concerned, like it's mostly 18 and up, but if you're a teenager and you're on Booktok and you get suggested Colleen Hoover and you see everyone likes Colleen Hoover, then you read her books and you're like, okay, this wasn't that good, like, you're gonna be afraid to say something. And I was the same way when I was 14 and reading, and I read something, I was like, that wasn't that good. I never said anything. I still rated the book 5 stars because I was afraid that if I didn't, people were like gonna be mean to me, like genuinely. Even if it's people that I've never met, I'm never gonna meet on the internet, it doesn't matter, it's scary. And they will come for you. They will come for you, they will insult you and your family and everyone to come in your family, you know what I mean? Which I think is so wrong, because even though I make rant videos and I sit here and I talk shit, never in my life have I gone onto anyone's account anywhere and commented under there because they like Colleen Hoover. For example, like, she's a reoccurring example, but I think she's a really good example. So when I randomly get like a TikTok about, oh, I love my favorite Colleen Hoover books, I don't comment under there like Colleen Hoover sucks or you can't read because they read Colleen Hoover, that's a meme. I never do that, because what do I gain from that? Nothing. I let people enjoy their shit, but in my insights, I'm raging, and that's why I'm sitting here and talking about it, because I think it's so sad. Again, anything that motivates people to read is good, even if the beginning of it is Colleen Hoover. I believe that those people are gonna maybe mature in their tastes as they read more books and realize what they like more. But if you're reading, that's good, you know, just keep reading, but be a little bit critical of what you consume. And I know it's hard sometimes, but Crescent City 1 was just the thing that flipped the switch in my head where I started being critical, because before that I wasn't critical either. And then Sarah J. Maas published a shit book and I was like, I'm done, I'm over it. So if you're younger, don't be upset if you don't like something public on Booktok, because I remember how I felt whenever, because BookTok wasn't around when I was younger. When I was 14, it was like Tumblr and Twitter. People on Twitter are ruthless too. They would also like curse your entire family if you don't like something, and I think that's so wrong, and it makes me feel so bad. It makes me feel so bad because it's not that deep. It's just a book at the end of the day. As I said, it's not a real person. It's just a work of fiction that should be analyzed and that people should have a subjective opinion on and should be able to discuss. It's subjective. Peace and love. Like, people like it, people don't like it. Also, something that I find really interesting is that if you're a man, men have it so easy. Men have it so easy. This is a little, wait, let me do a little bit of an, how do you say, excursus? A little bit of a side note. So many times I get TikToks, and actually why? Of like women with big tits, because why not? Like, sure. And they will be making a video. You see that I have big boobs. If you have big boobs, like whether they are trying to show them or not, if you have big boobs, you can tell. Like, if they're not covering up in a big shirt like I am, you can tell that they have big boobs. It's like, they're just there, bitch. What they're supposed to do. What they're supposed to do. What am I supposed to do? I have big boobies. I'm not walking around in a shirt like this all the time, especially if it's super hot. So they will be making a video, and then under these videos, either they're getting sexualized, objectified, you know, men, or people will say, oh, women have it so easy, women have it so easy. But then again, that's like a whole different topic. Like, men are the ones mainly consuming this, so you are the reason women have it so easy, okay? But men have it so easy on BookTok. I cannot believe how many men are popular, and actually it's not that many, but you have to, as a man, you have to pick up one YA book for the girlies to go crazy. You have to pick up one Colleen Hoover book for the Colleen Hoover stands to go crazy. You have to be like semi-attractive, like maybe like a 7 out of 10, 6 out of 10. People will go crazy. Immediately, reading Colleen Hoover will make you more attractive. It's so easy for men to become popular on BookTok because they are men. And men don't read. You know, maybe men should read more. Peace and love. And another thing that ties in with this is people get so hyperfixated on men that look like their favorite book characters. There's one guy that occasionally dresses up as Carden from The Cruel Prince. I don't know his name. I don't follow him. I don't care. But I've had him on my For You page, and the comments would all say, oh my god, this is Carden, this is Carden, this is Carden. So much that he eventually read The Cruel Prince, and people literally just follow him because they think he looks like Carden, which is so weird. Like, he gets all the hype from that, because imagine if The Cruel Prince ever gets made into, like, anything, like a TV show or whatever, and they cast another person, and then all his fame was built on looking like Carden, and then all of a sudden all the people are gonna be gone. Because they're like, okay, bye, we have a proper Carden now. But men have it so easy on fucking BookTok, you know? You don't even need to read the books. Just Google the synopsis. If you want to be famous, if you're a man watching this and you want to be famous, men don't watch me. I know they don't watch me, but if you, if you watch me, okay? But most of the time it's just 100% female on my channel analytics. I'm like, okay, I'm for the girlies. I don't mind that. Anybody can watch me. Anybody can watch me, okay? Safe space for everyone. Love you. But it's so crazy to me because BookTok is such a cult in that sense that they have like such a you say, I think, hive, like beehive mentality, where they all just swarm together to attack certain people, to bring certain people down, to hyperfixate on certain people. And a good example for this is something that happened recently, which I thought was really funny, and that's Jessica Chastain, an actress, the one with the red hair, that a lot of people were fan casting as Evelyn Hugo, from The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, the book that's wildly popular. And it's actually not on... It's actually not here. I wanted to say, oh, it's actually here. It's not here, but I do have it. It's on my TBR. And they wanted her to play her super badly. And there was a lot of discourse around this because I think... And that's the only reason I know about this, okay? Because people were saying, oh, we want Jessica Chastain to play Evelyn, but Evelyn, I think, is a person of color, a woman of color. I don't know exactly where she's supposed to be from because I haven't read the book yet, but as far as I'm concerned, Jessica is white. And so people were like, no, she's not gonna be a good Evelyn. But people were really adamant about her playing Evelyn Hugo because she has red hair and she was wearing a green dress, and that's apparently Evelyn. Maybe Evelyn's blonde, I don't know because I haven't read the book, but they really wanted her to play Evelyn is the point. And then recently, like a few days ago, there was someone met her at a signing, or not a signing, but outside on the street, and had a copy of Evelyn Hugo, The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, and wanted her to sign it. And Jessica, because we can call each other by our first names, she said, I can't sign that just because I'm not doing it. Which is the confirmation, because this is supposed to be an adaptation on Netflix as a show, no, as a movie, a Netflix movie. And she says, I'm not doing it. So that confirmed that she's not playing Evelyn. And then people immediately jumped on this, saying like, fuck you, first of all, and also like, fuck you, Jessica, and also, oh my god, how shit must the script be for her to say like she doesn't want to sign the book, like it's gonna be so bad. It blew up so much because people were so focused on her becoming Evelyn that she had to tweet, and she said this: I've been asked multiple times by fans to sign books that I'm not attached to contractually, because it feels wrong and like I'm taking credit for someone else's work. I'll say I can't sign because I'm not doing it. That doesn't mean I've read a bad script. Like, she literally had to say it's not a bad script. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I just didn't do it. Like, why the fuck would I sign a book that I didn't write? Which Peace and Love like makes sense, you know. I respect that. And then she says, I know how excited many of you are about adaptations. Please don't read too much into a video. There's no news about anything except that I'm on stage. Whatever, I don't fucking care if she's on stage. I don't fucking know who she is anyway. Peace and love, I don't care. But it's like, Booktok is so focused on her that she literally has to come on to Twitter and make a statement. Okay, that poor woman. She does not care about Evelyn Hugo. She doesn't even know what it is. I think she said in an interview once that she has read the book or she's aware of it. But like, why the fuck do you want someone to sign your book that has like nothing to do with it? I would not want to do that either if I were her. And I would also not want to have my book signed by a rando. So, she's not a rando. She's a famous actress, but you know what I mean. Something to end the video with, or to end this whole Booktok topic with, because we're already over it. There are so many Booktok controversies. I want to do a separate podcast episode where I just talk about different dramas that have happened so far in Booktok, or in the many years that Booktok has been around. But that's the general idea, okay? And another issue that I discussed with my boyfriend recently was the whole concept of book buying and book hoarding. Hoarding is a real issue, obviously, we know that. But so many people on Booktok promote book buying by having huge bookshelves, which is pretty, okay, peace and love. If you have the money, go get it. But that's like the whole thing, if you have the money. But so many people that watch these videos are young people, young teenagers, like 14 and up, maybe even younger, who don't have the money to buy books. Books are expensive. And I've seen people talk about going into debt over buying books. And this is not only an issue on Booktok, where they will sit, film a video, huge bookshelves in the back. Like, have you even read all of those? And I'm saying this as I'm sitting in front of my stack of books that I haven't even read. But I buy my books mostly secondhand. Mostly. I try. Because every now and then I have phases where I'm like, I don't even need all of these books because I'm not gonna like them anyway. Why do I need them physically? Why do I need them physically? I like having a physical book. I like the way they look, you know? But at the end of the day, do I need it? Go to a fucking library. I'm from Germany, okay? So I don't have that much access to English books in the library. But if you're not from Germany and you're from somewhere English speaking, go to the library and get the books. I get it though. It's like sometimes I'm like, oh, I want to have books to put them in my shelf and look pretty. But once I've read them, I'm probably not gonna look at them again, you know? Except if I super duper liked it. I'm not going to pick it up again. Or if I annotated it, which I've never have. So this whole mentality on Booktok and also on Booktube is the more the better. And then they all just go into the bookstore to buy like the most vanilla ass, basic ass romance books. It's like you already have 50 of those. Like, go to the library and get some. I don't really know. It's like the only issue that I see with it is that people feel like they're being forced to buy books. You know what I mean? Like, even if they maybe don't want to, because they don't have the money. Like, they genuinely can't, but then they're like, oh my god, I need more books. I need them to like feel included. And this is especially for like younger people who are watching Booktok. But the reason I discussed this with my boyfriend was because I was discussing with him what kind of content I could make, because I only make the podcast and I make my rant reviews, and I feel like I want to do more. And so I was thinking about reviews for movies, for book movies. I've done that before. Guys, I've done that before. If you've been here for a while, you know, which no one has been here for a while, I don't think. But I used to have a video public that was a review of a movie called, yeah, I don't know. What the fuck was the movie called? Let me look at the video, because it is private now, because there's a huge issue with copyright in Germany. It's very, very strict, and so it's really difficult for me to review like any piece of media, because they will just copyright it. And that doesn't not only mean that I don't get any money for it, but also that it's just not available to be viewed in certain countries, which is like stupid in my opinion, especially because I'm doing commentary. It was watching the book to movie adaptation that everyone forgot about. Ruby Red movie commentary. Yeah, it was Ruby Red. And it got claimed for copyright. I uploaded that in 2020 and it had 130 views, so no one watched it, and it does exist somewhere in English, but I watched it in German and wrote my own subtitles for the movie, and I was so proud of the video, because I thought it turned out so funny, and I think I would be funny in doing commentary, but I just genuinely can't do it. And then I was like looking at other people, what kind of content they made, and a lot of the popular what is it called, booktubers do book hauls. Like every single month they say, look at the 50 books that I got. I don't have that kind of money. You know, as much as I would like to do book hauls every now and then, I've only ever done, I think, 2 book hauls. Like one I did recently, like a beginning of the year, and it was books that I accumulated over time, and I got secondhand, as I said before, because that's how I get most of my books. So I can't do that. So what else am I supposed to do? You know what I mean? Because that's the whole extent of book content there is at the moment. Or maybe vlogs. I don't think anyone would watch that though. You know what I mean? Like, who cares what I'm doing? So I think that we need to stop with the buying books. Like, we still need to get them and read them, support the authors, but you don't need to buy books if you don't have the money for it. Okay? You don't have to do that, because I feel like that's a little bit excessive. That being said, we love anything that gets people to read. Booktok gets people to read, so we love Booktok, okay? This was longer than I thought. It was a long rant, but I did feel like I lost my thoughts a lot, because at the end of the day, this is nothing nothing you haven't heard before, probably. Like, people are aware of all of these issues with Booktok, and at the end of the day, is it really that deep? Is it really that deep? Are the issues that deep? I think that they are. No, I think like it's whatever, you know? I mean, a lot of people, if you're younger, you might feel pressured to like certain books and to read certain books and buy a lot of books and stuff like that. But if you spend some time in the book community, I think you will realize what you like, what kind of books you enjoy reading, and also then based on that, find a niche within the Booktok community that fits your liking a little bit better, with booktalkers that you enjoy, that you find likable, and also that recommend the kind of books that you enjoy. I think there's a booktalker for everyone out there. There's someone for everyone out there. Love you. I hope I'm for you. But that's the whole thing. That's everything I had to say about Booktok. That's already it. I don't know if it's already, like, I was a lot, girl. I just don't know how to shut up, apparently. But how much do you like my new sign? Could you even see it? I don't know. I can't see myself, so I don't know how well you can see it. But that's everything I wanted to say today. Thank you so much for watching. What's your opinion on Booktok? Comment down below. As I said... What did I say? My Kingdom of the Wicked review, I'm pushing it for this week, and then also a podcast episode. We'll see what the next topic is. If it's maybe I kind of want to do one on Sarah J. Maas or Cassandra Clare, one of the two girlies, because there's a lot to talk about with both of them, especially Cassandra Clare. But I feel like the topic has been talked about so many times, but then again, like, I love watching multiple videos on the same topic. I love it. So maybe you do want to hear about that. I'll put up a new poll so you can vote, and then I know what you want to hear. Okay, so subscribe to me so you know. Follow me on Instagram, follow me on TikTok. It's linked down below. And other than that, I love you so much. Thank you for watching, and maybe I'll see you in my next video. Stay happy, stay healthy. Bye bye.